There's a bottle under $35 that will out-compliment a $200 designer name sitting 3 aisles over. And I have worn both, the expensive one and its cheaper cousin, long enough to tell you exactly where they are the same and exactly where they are not. I have stood at the counter with the costly one on my left wrist and the inexpensive one on my right, waiting through a whole afternoon to see which one lasted, which one drew the question from across a table, which one I kept lifting to my own nose because I simply liked being near it. And far more often than the price tag would lead you to expect, it was not the one with the famous name on the cap. I'm Vivienne Marchand. I've been buying, wearing, and studying perfume since I was a young woman, and I have spent enough of my own money, made enough expensive mistakes to have arrived somewhere honest. The markup you pay at a luxury counter is very often not the juice at all. It is the bottle, it is the campaign, it is the name, and the actress they hired to stand beside it, and the prime square of glass real estate they bought on the ground floor of the department store. The perfume is sometimes the smallest line on that invoice. You've spent decades trusting your own nose. You know when a room smells expensive versus when it just costs a lot? That is a real distinction, and most people never develop it, and you have. So today, I am bringing you 10 fragrances, every one of them genuinely available for under $35 in the United States, every one of them tested honestly by a woman who has no loyalty to any counter and nothing on this earth to sell you. By the end, you will have a short list of cheap bottles that punch far above their price. And the honest place each one of them falls short, because not one of them is perfect, and you deserve to know that before your card ever leaves your hand. But first, let me tell you what I actually mean by the word dupe. Because most of what is sold to you as identical simply isn't, and learning the difference is the whole skill here. When the fragrance world says a cheap bottle is a dupe of an expensive one, what they usually mean, if they are being honest, is that it lives in the same neighborhood, the same family, a similar shape of an idea. It is rarely a photocopy. The raw materials are different, the concentrations are different, the way it unfolds on your skin across 6 real hours is different. A $30 bottle does not contain the same materials as a $300 one, and any person who swears to you that it does is gently lying to you. What a good, inexpensive bottle can do is capture the feeling, the warmth, the general direction. And sometimes the feeling is most of what you are paying for in the first place. That is the honest premise of everything I am about to tell you. The woman the counter loves is the one who buys the name. She arrives, she smells the bright top note that was engineered to perform in exactly 30 seconds, and she has reached for her card before the fragrance has had any chance to become what it actually is. The woman I am talking to today buys the perfume. She wants to know what happens at hour 6, on her own skin, in her own life. Those are two entirely different shoppers. You stopped being the first one a long time ago. Now, let me tell you about a woman I knew when I was young, because she is the reason I keep a list like this at all. Her name was Beatrice, and she was a friend of the family, not wealthy in the least, who somehow always smelled like the most expensive woman in any room she walked into. People leaned toward her. People asked, and every bottle on Beatrice's dressing table, every single one, was something modest she had found and loved and worn with complete conviction. She taught me, without ever saying it out loud, that elegance is not a price. Elegance is the woman and her certainty, and the bottle is only ever in service of that. I have never forgotten her, and I never buy on a name alone because of her. Let us begin. Number 10, Coty Vanilla Fields. You will find it for somewhere between $10 and $22, and it has been on drugstore shelves since 1993. I am starting here on purpose because some of you wore this in a previous decade and set it aside, and I want to give you permission to pick it up again without embarrassment. Vanilla Fields is a soft oriental vanilla, a gentle green floral vanilla, the kind of warm and unfussy scent that smells like clean skin and a little powder and something comforting you can't quite name. I will be honest with you straight away because no one at any counter ever was with me. This is not a complex fragrance. It does not have a grand architecture. The longevity is modest, 2 to 3 hours on most skin before it goes quiet, and it sits close. It is not going to fill a room. What it is lovely and familiar and almost absurdly inexpensive. And for $10, it asks nothing of you and gives back a small, warm, nostalgic comfort. that is worth something. Not everything has to be a statement. Number 9, Zara Red Vanilla. Around $22 to $28 for a full 100 milliliter bottle. Yes, Zara, the clothing store. I understand the hesitation entirely, and for a great deal of the perfume carousel, the hesitation is fair. But over the last decade, Zara has quietly collaborated with real perfumers on a handful of genuinely interesting things, and Red Vanilla is one I keep returning to in the colder months. It opens on blackcurrant and pear, there is praline and iris through the heart, and the base is a warm tonka and vanilla with a thread of patchouli that keeps the sweetness from turning into a dessert trolley. It reads cozy, a little grown-up, the kind of warmth you want on a gray afternoon. 6 hours is a fair figure on skin, which for the price is generous. Where does it fall short? It is sweet, and it is uncomplicated. And if you do not live in the warm gourmand world, it will not convert you. It is also seasonal in feel, far better in autumn and winter than in July. But on the right cold day, for $25, it is a small, warm pleasure that costs you almost nothing. Number 8, Jovan White Musk. Between $8 and $14, and it has been quietly doing its job since 1990. Now, here's where it gets interesting. There is a whole category of expensive fragrance built entirely around the idea of clean skin and warm musk. Fragrances that cost $150 and promise to smell like you, only better. Jovan White Musk has been doing exactly that for 35 years for the price of a sandwich. It is musk, honeysuckle, a little this ylang-ylang and jasmine, and a soft amber underneath, and the overall effect is soft, sensual, a little powdery, entirely unpretentious. It wears close to the skin, which is the point of a musk. I will tell you the honest limitation plainly. This is a skin scent. It does not project across a room, and it was never meant to. If you want sillage, that trail a fragrance leaves behind you, this is not the bottle. But as a warm, clean second skin, layered under something else or worn entirely on its own, there is a reason this little drugstore bottle has outlasted 1,000 fashionable releases that cost 10 times as much. Number 7, Lattafa Mayar. Around $25 for 100 milliliters. Lattafa, for those who have not yet met the house, is a producer out of the United Arab Emirates that has become impossible to ignore because they keep making genuinely well-constructed fragrance and charging almost nothing for it. Mayar is their soft, pretty, feminine one. Lychee and raspberry and a green-violet leaf at the top, a heart of white rose and peony and jasmine, and a clean musk and vanilla base. It is tender. It is the kind of fragrance you wear when you want to feel quietly put together rather than noticed. And here is the honest part, the part the listing will not volunteer. Mayar sits close to the skin. After the first couple of hours, it largely becomes a pleasure for you and the person who hugs you, rather than the room. Some women find that an exquisite intimacy. Others want more reach. Know which one you are before you fall for the opening, because the opening is beautiful and it makes a promise about projection that the dry down does not entirely keep. Let me step back for one moment, because there is a pattern forming here and I want you to be able to see it, so you can spot these overperformers yourself in any discount aisle in the country. The cheap bottles that smell more expensive than they are almost always have a real base. Not a whisper of vanilla painted on at the end, but an actual foundation underneath them. Amber, sandalwood, tonka, a true musk. The base is the part the industry quietly shaves when it needs to protect a margin, and it is also the part that makes a stranger cross a room an hour later. When an inexpensive fragrance clings, when something about it makes you check your own wrist well into the afternoon, you are almost certainly smelling a genuine base. Keep that in your nose. It is the one thing no salesperson will ever explain to you, because it is the one thing that would let you stop needing them. Number 6, Lattafa Rams Gold. You will find it for somewhere between $10 and $20. This one surprised me, and I say that as a woman who is not easily surprised anymore. Rams Gold opens on a bright, ripe fruit, apple and pear and peach and a little black currant, then settles into jasmine, rose, and orange blossom over a warm base of sandalwood, white musk, vanilla, and a touch of patchouli. The community sometimes describes the dry down as something like barely sweetened fruit tea, and that is a fair and rather lovely description. It is elegant in an effortless way, the kind of thing you reach for without having to think about it, and it carries 6 hours of soft presence on most skin. The honest caveat: the opening in its first few minutes can read a little sharp, a little loud, before it calms into the better thing it becomes. Give it 10 minutes. Do not judge a Lattafa by its first 30 seconds, because almost none of them are at their best there. They are built to bloom, not to greet. Number 5, Lattafa Nebras, around $30 for 100 milliliters. If Mayer was the tender one, Nebras is the warm and enveloping one. Red berries and mandarin at the top, a heart of vanilla and cacao, and a little rose, and a base of sugar, tonka, amber, and musk. It is a cozy, creamy, gourmand warmth, and the fragrance community frequently mentions it in the same breath as some of the well-regarded vanilla-forward designer compositions, the smooth, expensive ones built around sweet amber. I will mark that clearly as a community comparison and an opinion, not a fact. It is in the same family. It is not the same fragrance. What I can tell you on my own nose is that Nebras performs beautifully for the money, with real longevity and a soft, lingering sweetness that genuinely reads richer than $30 has any right to. The honest limitation is simply this: it is sweet, properly sweet, a cold weather and evening fragrance, and if heavy vanillas tire you, this is not your bottle. But if that warm world is where you live in the winter, Nebras belongs on your shelf. Now, let me stop on the next one, because it is the one most women hesitate over for the wrong reason. Number 4, Fakhar Lattafa, the women's version, the one in the rose gold bottle, around $22 for 100 milliliters. This is a creamy white floral, and it is genuinely accomplished. It opens with soft fruit and a touch of aldehyde, that clean, slightly soapy sparkle, then blooms into tuberose and jasmine and gardenia and ylang-ylang, and settles onto a plush base of vanilla, white musk, sandalwood, and ambroxan. It is the most grown-up, most refined-feeling fragrance on this list so far. Now, the fragrance community very widely compares Fakhar to Givenchy's L'Interdit, and I will tell you honestly what I think, marked as opinion. To my nose, they are cousins. Same broad white floral and musk territory, the same general impression from across the table. Fakhar is a touch sweeter, a touch less refined in the fine detail, and a person who owns and loves the original will absolutely be able to tell them apart on close inspection. But for $22, what Fakhar delivers, the projection, the longevity, the sheer presence of it, is remarkable. This is the one on the list I would hand to a skeptic first. Number 3, Lattafa Ajwad, around $28 to $30, and you most often find it in the smaller 60 milliliter size. Ajwad is the quietly sophisticated one, the unisex one, the one I would wear when I have not decided to make any statement at all, but want to feel well dressed from the neck up for an entire day. A juicy fruit and lychee and bergamot at the top, jasmine and rose and a little cinnamon through the heart, and a creamy woody base of cedarwood and sandalwood and vanilla and amber and musk. It is smooth. It is the opposite of loud. It wears the way a very fine soap smells at its absolute best, clean and close and almost intimate, the kind of scent that makes a person lean toward you rather than step back. The honest qualification: like several of the loveliest things on this list, it is skin close. It will not turn a head from across the room, and on a hot day, it can go a little quiet. But as a fragrance to genuinely live inside of all day, without once thinking about it, Ajwad is one of the most wearable, beautiful things I know at this price. Number 2, Lattafa Ana Abied Rouge, the one in the red bottle, around $25 for 100 milliliters. If you have spent any time in the fragrance world in the last few years, you already know the name of the expensive scent this one is forever being measured against. Ana Abied Rouge is very widely compared in the community to Baccarat Rouge 540 by Maison Francis Kurkdjian, that famous, enormous $290 saffron amber composition that has been everywhere. I will be precise, and I will mark this as the community comparison it is. Ana Abied Rouge captures the addictive, sweet, saffron and amber character of that style at a fraction of the price, with enormous projection and a wear time of 8 to 10 hours. Its notes run from nashi pear and kumquat and bergamot through caramel and geranium, down to ambergris, musk, and oak moss. Now, the honest beat, and please hear it, it is not identical to the original. It is, to many noses, a little sweeter, a little less refined, a little less of the airy crystalline quality that makes the expensive one famous. If you own and adore the original, you will feel the gap. But if you have only ever admired that scent from across a room and never wanted to spend the rent on it, here is a way to wear the feeling for $25. That is not nothing. That is, in fact, rather a lot. And at number 1, Lattafa Yara. Around $30 for 100 milliliters, and it is the bottle I get asked about more than any other. Yara is the soft, creamy, floral vanilla one, and it has become quietly beloved for a reason. Orchid and heliotrope and a little tangerine at the top, a warm gourmand in tropical fruit heart, and a base of vanilla and musk and sandalwood. The fragrance community most often and most offensively places it in the lane of the soft, sweet, modern designer gourmands, the good girl blush and Mont Blanc signature sort of territory. And again, I mark that as opinion and family resemblance, not as a claim that it is any one of them. What Yara is, on its own merits, is a beautifully blended, warm, comforting, genuinely flattering fragrance that draws compliments far out of proportion to its price. The longevity is good, the sillage is present without being aggressive, and it reads soft and elegant rather than young or cheap, which is exactly what so many of us are looking for and so rarely find at $30. It is the first bottle I would hand to a woman who tells me she wants to smell lovely, effortlessly, without spending a fortune, and it costs less than dinner for 2. There's the list. 10 bottles, every one of them under $35, not one of them pretending to be something it isn't. The counter will never tell you about a single one of these, and now you understand exactly why. The counter is not selling you a fragrance. It is selling you a name and a story and the comfortable feeling of having bought the thing you were told to want. That story has a price, and it is not a small one, and you are allowed, after a lifetime of paying it, to decide you would rather just have the perfume. Now, I want to hear from you, because this is where it becomes useful. Tell me in the comments what you are wearing and how long it lasts on your skin, and your skin type if you know it. Dry, oily, somewhere in between, and whether you run warm or cool, because all of it changes how a fragrance behaves. I want to build a real record from real women, so the next woman who finds this channel knows what to actually expect on her own skin. Not what a press release promised, but what someone who genuinely wore it found. Next time, I am going to tell you about something that sat in every woman's bathroom cabinet before 1958, quietly removed and replaced with a product that costs more and does considerably less. You are going to want to hear that one. Until next time, trust your nose. You've spent a lifetime training it, and what you wear should reflect you, not someone else's marketing budget.